Hi everyone, my name is Andrew, and today I'm going to be talking about georeferencing. The definition of georeferencing is a type of coordinate transformation that binds a digital raster image that represents geographic space to a spatial reference system, thus locating the digital data in real life. So why would you want to georeference? Perhaps you want to display historical boundaries and overlay historic maps to current geographic conditions, hence referencing urban development. Or perhaps you want to create a database of sorts, displaying web mapping of photographs and stories. In today's tutorial, we will be showing how to georeference an existing map from Toronto from 1898. We will be using the ArcGIS Pro program to start off. I have opened a project with the existing boundaries for the city of Toronto for reference. Make sure you have the historical map or any other image saved and easily accessible. You will need to make sure the map is located in JPEG or TIFF image formats, or else you will not be able to load them into ArcGIS Pro. You'll have to select and add them into ArcGIS Pro. So here I have the City of Toronto boundaries, and I'm just scrolling around just to show you about the City of Toronto, and now I have added my map. You'll want to make sure that the world topographical and hillshade are selected for reference. Sometimes georeferenced image needs statistics calculated. If you are prompted to, select yes. I was not prompted in this session, but sometimes when you add a historical map, it is needed. So when you enter an image in GIS without spatial reference, it has no coordinates associated with it. ArcGIS Pro has no idea where the images should be placed because there is no spatial coordinates. Hence, when I added it, this is located in the middle of the ocean. It is actually located just off the coast of South America. The act of georeferencing is to provide this image with the correct spatial coordinates so it can match up the real-world boundary conditions. So by georeferencing, we'll be locating this map in its correct place within the city of Toronto. So we're going to right-click, zoom to location on the city of Toronto layer that is in the contents table. You're going to select Imagery, and once you have the map selected in the Contents tab, press Georeference. So now we have the georeferenced window open. You'll want to click Fit to Display to have the map located. It overlays onto the current map in its current view. You'll want to ensure Auto Apply is selected, as that will automatically apply every control point. So as we can see, I clicked it and it completely messed up where it was. So you'll have to, as you can see, we zoomed back to it and it went to the middle of the ocean. So zooming back to the city of Toronto, you want to select Fit to Display, and now it's overlaid on top of it. So to match these two maps up together, we are going to use control points. So what is a control point? Control points are what we use to control the point on the historical map to a target point on the base map or the real world conditions. So essentially we will want to match up the base map points to real world points so we can see the difference between 1898 and 2023. You will want to find distinguishable features on the base map that have remained the same in today's real world. So some of this might be the University of Toronto Architecture Building or Toronto Island. You can quickly toggle between both maps to see what the difference is in like, what features have remained the same between the years. So the first point, we are going to be using the Toronto Island. So as you can see, they're a little unaligned right now, but here we selected the point on the base map and now we're matching it up with the real world conditions. So the first point acts as an anchor point, essentially, for the map. So now you can see that the point on the base map is matched with the point on the 1898 map. Ideally, you will want to have a minimum of 3 control points to provide at least a semi-accurate representation and location of the map. You can see the map has already provided the one transformation. Secondly, the second point we will be using, from looking around, it makes sense to use the roundabout near the architecture building at the University of Toronto. It's very distinguishable. It's located just west of Queen's Park, and my toggle cursor is just zooming in on it. So I selected the point. There's the University of Toronto. Here you can see that the two maps are unaligned. So I'm selecting the point here. I'm toggling that off. Going to the base map, finding the real world condition of it. And there it is. So you have those 2 points are now anchored. But as I previously mentioned, you'll want to have more than 2 points to match the two maps up together. The third points that we will be using is the northeastern limits of High Park. It is necessary to select points that still exist in our main features. On other maps where it is more difficult to find distinguishable features, if they're more recent, you can even use features that are located on maps such as trees, street lights, fire hydrants. Obviously, this map from 1898 of Toronto is more historical and a lot more of like the extent of the map is more zoomed out. But each map has distinguishable features unless it is very poorly drawn. The fourth point we'll be using is the Riverdale Valley limits, and that way we can have 4 fairly well distributed points. You're going to want to make sure all your control points are not beside each other, as there will need to be control points on every side of the map. So once you have the georeferenced images on here, selected and controlled, now generally the map should be as appropriately distributed as possible. So you can see I untoggled the current City of Toronto boundaries. And a reminder, you'll want to press save. You can press save as new if you want to save the new georeferenced image as a raster layer. I'm not going to do that today. It's not necessary. But you'll want to make sure to press save when you have those control points saved. You can press close georeference so you don't have to view those control points anymore. But you can be assured now that those control points are saved on the map. So what are you going to want to do now? You can use georeferenced images however you'd like. So you can see here that the existing boundary of Toronto from 1898 was much, much smaller than the current boundary of Toronto. It's almost an eighth of the size, if not more. Part of the reason is due to amalgamation, mainly due to amalgamation of the City of Toronto, amalgamating with nearby municipalities such as York, Scarborough, and others. And other factors that we can see that the City of Toronto has expanded into Lake Ontario. That's just because of man-made development, and I can assure you it's not because we improperly georeferenced, because you can see that the Fort York above my cursor and is still referenced today. So we have really reclaimed a lot of sea land. I think that's partly due to development on beaches and land that was not, the lake didn't really drop off for a while, but I cannot provide you the accurate explanation right now. So this has been a general explanation on georeferencing. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to provide me comments on this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. Um, thank you.